Hello and welcome to Goatcast Episode 7. I am your host, The Wolf of Lego, and I am joined by my co-host.
It's Zach again.
Yeah, so we haven't done one of these in a minute. It's been a while. I've been busy with things. If you guys have paid attention to the channel, I finally posted a actual Lego custom video. If you want to check that out.
About damn time.
Yeah.
Sorry.
So I got that out and just kind of focused on that. I wanted to get that done. I've been working on it for a while and kind of put Goatcast a bit on hiatus. And because of that, this is going to be a bit of a recap and kind of go over what we've seen in the last couple months that we haven't really talked about and kind of quickly recommend them, or not necessarily recommend them, but say if we would recommend them, you know, if they're worth your time or we think they were worth watching. We have a couple movies. I think we got a total of 6 movies
9?
and 2 TV shows we're going to be talking about. Something like that.
Briefly, quickly.
Yeah. So I'm not going to do the whole what we've been up to. Just get right into this.
The whole episode is what have we been up to. So.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, what have we been doing? Well, we've been watching these. And the first up on the ticket is James Gunn's The Suicide Squad. Not to be confused with David Ayer's Suicide Squad. This is another Suicide Squad, but it's got the
Also,
at the beginning.
the same Suicide Squad? Or mostly the same?
It's like technically like the same universe, I guess, or something like that. DC just, I don't know what the fuck they're doing. They're all over the place. But no, they I'm sure if you guys keep up with superhero stuff, the DC hired James Gunn and he directed a Suicide Squad movie. And it's the only reason I was excited about it, because it's James Gunn. Yeah, it came out back in August. And what do you think of Suicide Squad, Zach? Because this is one we've both seen.
Yeah, no, this one was better than the other one. I wish there was a different cut of the other one.
Yeah.
But this one was enjoyable. It was very fun. There was a lot of characters that I was glad to see again, and a lot that I was glad to see first time on the big screen.
Yeah. No, I like the fact that to me this movie really illustrated the idea of the Suicide Squad a lot better, because it's like they're literally a bunch of nobodies that are just sent off to die in a suicidal mission. It's not like the first movie. It's like, oh, we got Will Smith and Harley Quinn. It's like, okay, they're gonna be fine, you know, like they're not gonna get hurt. And this movie has that to an extent, but right in the beginning, that's kind of a bit of a misdirect. A bunch of characters just get killed. This movie's been out for a while, so I'll talk a little bit about spoilers. But like, you know, the beach scene that I'm talking about, the very start.
Rest in peace, Boomerang.
Yeah. But it immediately made you be like, oh, these guys are expendable and any one of them could die at any second. And I think that was a lot better illustrated, because in the Suicide Squad, one of them died. That was more of a joke.
Yeah, it was a whole like sacrifice thing and.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I guess that one died. I think I was thinking about what's his name? The guy who could climb everything. Like just gets his head blown up, whatever his name was.
Yeah.
Slipknot? Was that it?
Slipknot, yeah. Slipknot.
I don't think all the jokes landed in comparison. I don't think it's as funny as like some of the Guardians of the Galaxy jokes. There's a couple of like dick jokes and like those they never really make me laugh.
If somebody said I'd eat every dick until the beach was clean for liberty.
Like everyone was saying how John Cena was one of the best parts of the movie, and I thought he was all right. I didn't think he was really that funny.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm not a huge John Cena fan in movies. I feel like he always comes off kind of like Channing Tatum.
He's like the lesser Rock.
Category for me.
He's like the lesser Dwayne Johnson, you know? He came from wrestling, and everyone's like, oh, he's so cool. But it's like, as much as I'm getting sick of The Rock, he's got some charisma, and John Cena really doesn't, to me. He's just kind of there.
Yeah, I get that. I'm just, I don't know. Something about him, like, doesn't, like, it's very one-dimensional acting out of him.
Yeah.
Like, there's not a lot of depth to it.
No, I can see that. The one thing with this movie, it gave me kind of a problem I have with Guardians of the Galaxy 2. There's like a lot of villains that are kind of pointless, because in this movie the main villains, I kind of like the fact that it's just like a bunch of army guys from a coup on this island, but in reality they're kind of useless. They don't really do much. They're just there to be the bad guys, you know?
Right.
And there's the one character of the Thinker who I thought was much better like villain. He had some good moments. And then they lead up to the ending, which I thought for a lot of these movies that kind of devolve into a giant CG monster to fight, this movie kind of earned it by the end of it.
Yeah.
Because it did it in such a way where it didn't feel as stupid as a lot of the other ones. Like it was, I don't know if that has to do with the R rating and actually making Starro seem really disturbing, where like he's
Oh, right.
killing all
Like,
these people. So like when he shows up, it's more of a fear factor and not so much of a what the hell is this?
yeah.
Like it's still played off really goofy. There's a big text where it says the Suicide Squad versus Starro the Conqueror, like the whole title, which I like too. Throughout the movie, they had like these almost like the starting of a next issue of the comic. There'd be like these little words that pop
Yeah.
up, which was kind of fun. Instead of doing like the text for locations, they had almost like chapters of the movie.
Yeah, which is it's really cool. Borderlands, the video game, used to, well, I mean, they still do it for like character introductions. They would do that like hard
Yeah,
cut to a still image and like the title, which is always cool. Kind of broke down what segment you were in, and seeing that in a movie was really nice.
yeah,
Just
and
it's the hard cut from Act 2 to 3.
yeah. It sucks that original one exists because the entire time I was just comparing it, and like, it's like that first Suicide Squad is just really bad. Like, I mean, everybody knows it was like reshot and rearranged to try to be more like Guardians of the Galaxy, which is funny because then they get James Gunn to direct this one. This one feels not like Guardians of the Galaxy. It just kind of felt like a band of misfits, which I guess sounds like Guardians of the Galaxy. But the tone wasn't trying to copy something else. It was being its own thing for the most part.
Which I really wish there was another cut of like the original Suicide Squad, because like I feel like that movie could have been better than what it was if they just would make it its own thing.
Do you think that a different cut of that movie would be better than the one we got of the Suicide
Yeah.
Squad?
I mean, there was of the Suicide Squad. No, I think the one that we got was spectacular.
Yeah.
But Suicide Squad, they had 3 different editing companies come in and
Oh
try
yeah.
to make a cut of a movie, and
And
like,
it's
I'd
like
like
it
to see
looks like
at least one of the other ones.
it looks like they learned their lesson because this movie, for the most part, is what I heard wasn't really tampered with at all, which is great.
Good.
It's
Good.
just allowed to be its own thing, and it was just a very fun movie. It's not nothing. It's not like that was one of the best movies of the year. It was just really fun. It was just like
Yeah.
this is fun. It gets the idea across way better. James Gunn's allowed to play around with gore effects and be more adult with the movie, which I really enjoyed. Some of it, like I said, came off a little childish with some of the jokes. With the whole, I don't know. Anytime there's like dick jokes, it always comes off like, "What are you, 12?" Like, it's
Yeah.
like it's not creative. It's just kind of like, all right. But no, it was
Still, a lot of that movie is quotable.
yeah.
In our ways, stay off the comms.
Oh yeah, King Shark is
It's like,
definitely
everything with King Shark is so great.
James Gunn's really nails it with those CGI like kind of dopey characters. He did that with Groot, and he's got now King Shark, which is kind of similar.
Yeah, it's
The fact that Stallone voiced him was great.
I didn't know that until like a week later. I was like, what?
Yeah.
New dumb friends.
No, the cast is really fun. Like besides like we talked a little bit about John Cena. I really like Idris Elba in a lot of movies, and he was good. I forget the name of the girl who plays Ratcatcher too, but I really liked her. She was fun.
Daniela. I don't remember her last name. I know her first name's Daniela.
Okay. And then the guy who played Polka Dot Man, he's like one of the characters in Ant-Man. I can't think of his name either. But besides not knowing the actors' names, they're really fun, all the characters.
Right.
And like even Margot Robbie as Harley Quinn. Weirdly enough, like they give her a whole side plot that doesn't really have much to do with the main plot, but it's really fun regardless. She's like doing her own thing, and anytime it cuts back, it was like, oh, this is great. She like falls in love with a dictator and has this
No, the whole
other
like
thing.
red flag scene was great.
Oh yeah. No, it was just
that was
a
great.
really solid, fun movie. It's probably the best DC movie, in my opinion, in terms of that universe of films. It's the one I enjoyed the most, and probably the one I'll revisit.
I hope that they tie something else into that movie.
Yeah. It'd be nice if they build upon that. I know they're having that Peacekeeper show that's like a sequel series for HBO Max.
Okay.
it ties right into Suicide Squad because the post credit scene.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't have HBO
I
Max,
just
so I
I
don't
don't
ever
know.
know
I
to
don't want
watch
them
that.
to like milk it. I just want them to like kind of build something else up with it.
Yeah, kind of use it as a new like jumping off point in a way.
Yeah.
At least I feel that way. But no, I'd recommend checking that out. I'm sure most people have seen it, but it's really fun.
Hopefully, most people have seen it by now.
I know we talked a little bit about spoilers, and it's kind of redundant to then say you recommend it or not. But yeah, I'd say it's fun. Check it out. Gotta
Yeah,
stop doing that. I
if you
gotta
haven't.
recommend it before I start spoiling everything.
No, I mean, I get it. Some people want to hear some opinions to see if it's worth 2 hours of your time, and yeah, that's worth it.
Yeah. So on the same day I saw Suicide Squad, I also saw the Green Knight, which Zach has not seen.
Nope.
So the Green Knight is an A24 film. It was funny because my brother wanted to see it because he thought it was based off that Arthurian legend of the same name, or I think it's the same name. I don't actually know, but he wanted to see it because he was thinking it was going to be like a medieval action adventure type of thing, and all I saw was the A24 logo, and I was like, I don't think this is going to be what you think it is, which it wasn't. It was very much so an A24 movie. It gave me a lot of vibes of The Witch or The Vitch and
The Vitch.
Midsommar. It reminded me a lot of those. I wouldn't say it's outright a horror film like those two, but it's definitely got those elements to it. And it sucks because I wasn't crazy about the movie. It's like the beginning and the end are the most memorable parts. And then the middle is just kind of like what was really supposed to happen there. Because you just kind of go along with this guy's journey. And the movie's themes are very much so about what it means to have like a legacy related to nobles and people expecting a lot from you. That kind of expectations for your life. And then also to do with honor with a knight and a man's word.
Let whichever of your knights is boldest of blood and wildest of heart step forth.
And those themes are really nice. I really like in the movie. That's probably the best part. And like I said, that's kind of like the beginning and the end of the movie. And then the middle's like its own thing. It's really strange. Because he just kind of goes off on these little... It almost feels like he gets caught up in side quests of a video game at some points. It's like, what does this have to do with the rest of the story? There's just certain moments where it's like, okay, what did that have to do with anything? And there'll be like 20 minutes. It's visually great. It's really well shot. I love the set design. It's very colorful in its presentation, especially the ending. I really like the setting of the area. And the special effects were really good. Very little amount of special effects, but when they were there, they were good looking. And then the Green Knight himself was a practical suit, which was awesome. A lot of close-ups on that. The only part that looked a little kind of iffy is this one part where you see a close-up of his hand and you can see the rubber like bending of the tree branch. It's supposed to look like wood, but you can tell it's rubber. And it's like, oh, that's a little crappy. And then the movie's lighting too was really nice because it seemed darkly lit, but it made sense for the castle setting and candle lights and all that,
Right.
Like the lighting made sense. Like visually, it was really cool, but like it lost me at the end. There's like a part that drags on for like 20 minutes. I might exaggerate, but it was really long. And then the payoff for that scene, like it made sense in the terms of the theme of the movie, but by the time you get out of that part, it's been so long that it's almost kind of jarring. And I don't know, it's a weird one. I feel like, because I like those kind of movies that kind of challenge you, and I do feel compelled to see it again in a way, because there's all these little details that you might miss on first viewing. If you're into those type of A24 films where you get all these like symbolism, themes and all that,
There's like a deeper meaning behind it all.
it's definitely like would be worth your time. So like if you like those type of movies, I'd check it out. But do be aware that it's not necessarily like a medieval fantasy Lord of the Rings type thing. It's very much so more of a character piece with a lot of themes, and it's not really an adventure movie. So you got to know what you're going into, because my brother was very disappointed because he thought it was supposed to be the other way around, and I was expecting more of what it was because of the company that made it. So I was a little more like, yeah, this is what I expected. It's like dude coming and you see his cum on a rag. It's like, yeah, it's weird. It's out there. It's not for everybody. But I really like the visual style of the movie. But yeah, that's my thoughts on the Green Knight. I'd check it out if you're, like I said, you're into that. I think I've said that like 5 times at this point. So we're just gonna move on.
Be aware of what you're getting into.
Yeah, just know. Might not be for everybody. So you want to talk about?
I haven't seen Green Knight, but you haven't seen What If.
No, I have not seen What If. Which what is what if?
What If is what if things happen differently in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. The tone is a little different from the movies. I felt like they took the approach of this is animated, so kids are gonna watch it. So they
Which is kind of strange, don't you think? I don't think there's many kids thinking, "What if Killmonger didn't die?" Like, you know, like that seems more of, I don't know. So it's got more of a kid angle, you're saying?
yeah, like Captain Carter saying bollocks, and I don't know. Some of her lines I felt like didn't need to be in there, but
Kind of
that
dumbed
was
it
with
down for kids.
every character. Yeah, they just kind of like dumbed it down a little bit, which isn't the worst thing. All in all, the show wasn't bad.
Yeah.
It was nice to see them tie in different, like I said before, these all comic book characters. They brought in some of these comic book ideas, which was nice.
Yeah.
One that I was surprised to see was the Marvel zombies,
Yeah.
which was a great comic line. If
Yeah, I don't know much about that. And that was one that I was like, eh. I mean, the whole show to me, from an outside view, was just kind of like, maybe I'll watch it at some point, but there was no real excitement to tune into it for me.
right.
Because I still haven't watched any of it.
I mean, it's all one big spin-off. I don't know if they plan on doing anything else with it. I don't know.
Do you think all the episodes are made equal, or do you feel like there are definitely some outliers?
No, there's definitely a few that were below the bar.
Yeah.
Episode 7 was below the bar.
What was episode
Um,
7 about?
Episode 7 was what if Loki wasn't brought to Asgard and Thor was an only child? He just becomes this dude bro that parties and destroys planets because he
Oh,
parties too hard.
all I've heard, like from people who have watched the show, have said that they'd recommend, what is it, the 4th episode is like a Doctor Strange one that's supposed to be really good.
Right, and that is probably the best one. The what if T'Challa becomes Star-Lord was okay, but they dumbed down a lot of the characters.
Yeah. What about
And
the animation? It looked kind of strange from the trailers. How'd
no,
that?
the animation was really good. It took this
Is it 2D
I don't
or
know if I want to
3D?
call it.
Like how's it?
I think it's 3D. It's been a minute since I watched them, but they took on this sort of show shading look
Okay.
for some of it, and it looks really like the still frames that I've seen are really good. The
Yeah.
animation wasn't like I know we were talking about Invincible and how the animation for that was a little choppy, and this didn't have any of that.
Well, that's because it's got a Disney budget. It's probably
It's
got
got Disney's money in it, but
it's got all those
no, the
poor
animation was great.
animators locked away,
It
working,
was good. All
slaving
the
away.
lighting was really good. Yeah, I mean, if you have time to sit down and watch some of them, it's fine.
Do you think I need to watch them all, or just watch the ones that sound interesting?
Because I mean, there is a bigger story with it. Like towards the last two, like that there is a reason to watch them all. Yeah, watch them all.
Okay.
If you plan on watching one, like watch them all. That
Yeah.
way you know what's going on. Because they do all tie together towards the end, and it is a bigger story. So missing a piece out of it would be kind of.
Well, that's how I
I
feel
wouldn't say
with.
any of them are filler episodes. Some of them are better than others, but none of them are just like filler. So I wouldn't skip any of it.
Yeah, that's kind of how I feel about Marvel in general. There's like certain movies that don't look that exciting. When we're recording this, the Eternals have recently come out, and I'm not really excited to go watch it. It just feels like I obligated because it's part of a bigger story, and it's like, oh, if I don't watch this, I'm gonna feel confused. Which is a great
Yeah, I
segue
don't.
into Shang-Chi, which
Shang-Chi.
was that the first Marvel movie to come out this year? Out of their annual releases?
Yes.
No, actually,
Yeah.
there wasn't a Marvel movie last year.
Of this year?
No, Black Widow would have been the first one, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
still
Yeah,
haven't
yeah.
seen that. Uh,
Endgame came out this no this
no,
year.
Endgame was 2019.
Was it? I'm
That was
so far.
Endgame was
like,
before the pandemic. Yeah, don't you feel old now? Um,
I man. All the dates blend together, and I don't know.
Yeah, but we've both seen Shang-Chi. I mean, well, you haven't seen it all because of complications. You had to leave the movie theater.
Oh yeah, we missed the last like 12 minutes of the movie, but
Yeah, you weren't missing much. But
no. I'm sure there was a kiss scene somewhere that I missed, but other than that,
no, actually, no. The two never kissed.
really?
Yeah, they're just
Oh,
friends.
damn.
For once, they're just friends.
For once, look at them.
Yeah,
Look
I
at
was
that.
kind of like, hey,
Friends can be friends.
yeah. I wasn't crazy about. What was it Aquafina? Was that the actress who played his friend?
Yeah.
Wasn't crazy about her. She just had like this smoker lady voice and kind of degrading after a while.
Katie, Sean's here. Yeah, Mom, be there in a minute.
Nothing
Oh,
against her.
she's
it's just-
hilarious. What are you talking about?
No, I mean, I don't know. She was fine, but I gotta remember actors' names. But the guy that plays Shang-Chi, I really liked him. He did a great job with what he was given.
Yeah.
And it was a fun movie. It was like, it's obviously trying to pay homage to kung fu movies. I wouldn't say it's on par. I still feel like there's that Marvel CGI type of, stuff going on. Because there's one fight scene that I really wanted to like, but just something about it felt off. And then I saw some behind the scenes, and they had digitally replaced the knives in the guy's hands. So they didn't. It's like, why do you do that? Why can't you just have a stuntman with rubber knives? Like it's just like there's so many things you could do, but they just plan to CGI most of it, and it just
There was a lot of cuts. I remember seeing like they were making this movie. I was like, oh, cool. They could do like hopefully they get like a stunt coordinator who can navigate this well. And there was still a lot of cuts.
Oh yeah, there was.
And
it's not nearly as bad as like Falcon and Winter Soldier. I didn't really, we talked about how I couldn't stand the action scenes in that, but like the action scenes were nice, like compared to
they had a lot of longer takes.
Yeah.
The fight scene in the bus.
Yeah, that was pretty good.
Had a couple good scenes, but they kept cutting in between like some quirky line.
Yeah, the CG was like not as good as like Endgame or Infinity War, but it wasn't as bad as Black Panther. So it's like
right.
It was in a decent spot where it's like the guy with that blade for a hand. It was like, yeah, that doesn't look good in some shots, but in other shots it looked okay.
Yeah.
No, the action stuff was fun, and I think that was one of the bigger draws of the movie. Was like, hey, we're doing a kung fu movie,
Right.
And the story stuff, for the most part, between Shang-Chi and his dad, what's the character? Wen Wu? Is that the character's name?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
I think I'm right. Hang on, I want to double check. I don't want to screw that up. But yeah, it's Wen Wu. But the dynamic between the son and the dad, I think, really was the best part of the movie for me.
Like that seemed to be like the whole plot of the movie was like their
because
relationship.
Like the dad's like the villain, but he's like one of the more interesting parts of the movie. And their relationship of how he tried to train his son to be a ruthless killer. And I really like the fact that they delve into the fact that Shang actually went through with a lot of what his dad wanted him to do. So he's a bit of a tragic character in a way,
Right. It's the man with nothing to lose teaching his son to take revenge on the people that took everything from him, and how impressionable he is as a kid.
Is the 10 rings like how they are in the movie from the comics? Were they like fucking wrist bracelet guns that could shoot? Is that I thought they were like magic rings. Like,
I don't rightly know.
Because to me, I was like, this is not what I remembered, what I thought this was. I was totally okay with it. I thought it was really cool. The ring fight choreography with those were
right. That stuff was great. That stuff was really cool.
Whipping him around, and he kind of shoots them off like a shotgun, like a point blank.
Yeah.
He'll like hit somebody with it. I was like, oh, this is cool looking.
I like how they both wielded them differently.
Yeah, you can see like the differences.
Right.
One of my favorite scenes, I think actually my favorite scene in the movie is like it's almost shot like a gangster scene, but the dad goes to confront some people.
Oh yeah.
And it's shot in a way to get around like the PG-13 rating, which I thought was really clever. You see like the whole fight through the reflection of
the reflection
of like the wall, and it's like he just brutally messes these guys up like a gangster movie type of scene. and like he uses the ring like a shotgun, point blank at somebody, and I was
Yeah.
like, this is great. I
It
love
just
this.
blasts him out of this chair.
You
Yeah,
kind of
was
wish
good.
it was rated R, so they could go a little more with it, but it was like it was well done, and I was like, oh, that was really cool. That was really well done. I really liked that. The part for the movie, my biggest complaint is of the sister character, because in the story for the movie, they say how her father neglected her and sidelined her in favor of her brother.
Right.
And then eventually her and her brother meet up again, and she holds a grudge against her brother because he kind of abandoned her and didn't come back for her. He left. He ran away from home.
Yeah.
And she talks about how she's mad because she's been neglected and abandoned by everybody, and how she's no longer going to be in the shadow of her father or her family or anything like that. And then the movie sidelines her for the entirety of the runtime. Like, she is like so pointless to the story. Like, if you cut her out, nothing would change. There's never a confrontation with her and her dad. When her dad shows up and like captures both of them, she doesn't even talk with him. There's never like she talks with him, but there's not like a confrontation of her being mad at him. There's none of that. It's like, what is the point of this? And by the end of the movie, spoilers, so spoiler warning, the dad dies, and she doesn't even seem to react. She like looks over at his body and is like, oh. Like, there's never a talk with those two or anything. It's like, what was the point of having her around? She's literally like just there, and like she even goes to help Shang at the end, and she does nothing. She's just kind of there. I think she like bats some monsters off the dragon's face at one point. That was about it. Like, I feel like if you cut her out of the movie, not much would really change. And then they like imply at the end that there's going to be more with this character, but there wasn't like enough done to make me excited about that. Because I'm like, who is she? We really don't know anything about her.
Yeah, I don't know.
That was the weirdest part to me, especially when the movie takes such a point in talking about how she's no longer going to be in the shadows. Even her aunt is like, you will no longer be neglected, when she gives her like the rope dagger thing at the end.
Yeah.
And then it's like, oh, you're just going to be the action girl on the sideline fighting guys. Like, you're not going to have anything to do with the emotional story of like Shang and his dad talking and, you know, having this moment. She's not involved at all.
I don't know. Maybe that'll be more of a, like, if they're implying that she's going to be in more things that.
But the whole conflict was between her dad, and now her dad's dead. So it's like, what's there? There's nothing. Very strange. That part was like the biggest turnoff. I was like, why do you even have her around? Like, if you're gonna say all that, commit to it. Do something with the character.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, this might be Shang-Chi's story, and then she has a show or she's in another movie where it's, you know, focuses more on her. I don't know. I agree that if you're gonna like hype up an agenda in a movie, that, you know, follow through with it.
Oh, for sure. That's my feelings on it. It's just like, do something with her. It really felt like they really dropped the ball with that.
But I can also argue if they were gonna take like the character study approach with that, with like how easily like you kind of fall into your tendencies being put back into situations, you know what I mean? Because there's several instances of, you know, people getting out of a bad relationship, saying they're going to do better for themselves and winding them up back in the same situation. Like,
but I don't feel like they really made any mention of that's the intention, you know?
Right.
There wasn't like a scene of her kind of like her gonna talk to her dad, and her dad tells her to be quiet, and then like she, you know, like obeys him. There's like,
right.
There's nothing to imply that that's how she feels. She's just for some reason not involved with what's going on.
Yeah, there's better ways of doing it on both sides.
Yeah, and then like her character kind of fit into like a bit of a just that kind of character archetype that I don't like, where it's like, oh, she watched everybody train and somehow is now better than them. And it's like, that's not really how that works. You know, her brother.
They do different takes where like she's in the back room training, like training herself.
Yeah, but still, it's like she's not gonna learn all the nuances and the, you know, techniques, and like her brother is like beaten to the point of being like, you know, a ruthless assassin, and then she's on par or above him when she had none of that happen to her. Like, it's like just a little far-fetched.
Yeah, I don't know. We didn't see them like fight each other either, because he didn't hit her.
True. Like, he kind of was just surprised to see her.
Yeah.
All this movie made me want, or come to the conclusion, is they need to give Wong a movie. Give Benedict Wong a vehicle, and just give him a movie. because he's like one of the best characters in the Marvel movies, and I just wish they would do more with him. Because he shows up in this movie, and he's just really fun. And he's at you didn't see it, but he was at the end of the film, and he talks with Shang-Chi and his friend, and like it's just like just give this guy a movie. Like he's just fun. Like let him be the main character.
Seeing him, the whole fight with him and Abomination was adorable.
Yeah,
you learn on pulling back those punches like I taught you.
yeah, it's like Wong is doing like fucking gambling in a legal like fighting ring. Like it's like what is with this guy? What's he doing? That was fun though.
Which is such like a contrast to like when we first meet Wong.
Yeah, that's what I mean. He's just kind of
Well, he's just a librarian, dude. He's just like, don't steal books, or I'll have to kill you.
yeah. He's so serious, and then this movie, like he goes karaokeing and drinking with them at the end. It's like what the fuck? Like, but no. In terms of some of the newer Marvel stuff, this is definitely one of the better ones. But it was like, it did kind of devolve at the end into a CGI monster fight. Like I was saying, how Suicide Squad kind of earned that. This movie just kind of was like the opposite. It just kind of happened. I was like, all right, here we go. Fucking monsters, giant things. They're fighting.
Yeah.
Oh, he's riding the back of the dragon, and they gotta fight the big demon bat. And it's like, okay, I've seen this. Like, I would like to say how funny I thought it was, where like the beginning of the movie shows his dad with a giant army and horseback, and then he's talking about how he's mobilizing his army to take over this village where his wife came from, and he shows up with like 3 Suburbans worth of people,
Yeah,
in like a backyard. I just thought the visual was funny. It didn't look very threatening. It's like huge army on horseback versus 3 Suburban worth of people with a bunch of taser rifles. It's like,
I'm trying to remember if the assassin guy, the blue assassin with the face mask, if he had a name.
He probably does. I don't remember. He kind of gets abruptly like Boba Fetted.
Right? Yeah. Like throughout the movie, he's the one that's beating Shang-Chi. He's the one that's like the right hand man.
Yeah.
Of Wenwu, and then he just like, he's dead.
Yeah, kind of anticlimactic. It kind of pulled into the thing that bothers me with Marvel movies. You know, the incessant need to throw in a joke. Like he dies almost like a punchline for the other characters to like side with them.
Right.
And the one joke that I couldn't stand was Shang-Chi is telling his friend about his awful childhood and his backstory, pretty much. And then
yeah, we talked about this.
Yeah, it like abruptly cuts
when
the stewardess asking what kind of food they want, and it's just like, why'd you do that? Like, like I feel like there's better ways to like exit the serious tone to more of a back to like the lightheartedness. Without like literally like cutting it off in the middle.
If Aquafina's character was just like, no, I don't want to hear a sob story. Like,
yeah,
this year sucked enough. I don't want to hear another sob story. Like that would have been
more appropriate in some regard. But it's just like some of the jokes didn't land. We haven't even talked about. They have a cameo of Ben Kingsley, the Mandarin character from Iron Man 3, and I thought he overstayed his welcome. I thought it was funny, but then he's like there for the rest of the movie.
No, like I didn't see the ending of the movie.
Yeah.
But the scene where like everybody's fighting and he's just laying in a pile of corpses. He's like, "Come here."
I think that's the last time you see him, but still, it's like, why is he there? It kind of takes away from the whole father-son trying to kill each other, and then it cuts to him. Like, it's like, why are you here?
I don't know. I didn't think that was such a bad thing. Like I thought it was very humorous. Where like he brought me here to be executed, and I entertained everybody, so they just keep me around. It's just like
I thought that was funny. But if they just left it at that, like he's just in the basement, that would have been hilarious. But he like goes with them, and I'm like, why?
Right. I mean, he's gotta translate, navigate.
Not all the humor worked for me, and then the third act, like I said, kind of devolved into like big CGI fight because it went away from the dad and the son dynamic, and then it just turned into stop the demon monster,
right?
Which I get was the bigger like this thing is like manipulating his father to do things, and all that. I get that, but at the same time, I'm just like I kind of wish that wasn't there. I would say though, out of the newer Marvel stuff that's come out, this is definitely one of the better things though.
Yeah,
I wouldn't be opposed to watching it again. It's not like
no,
like, I have no interest in rewatching Falcon and the Winter Soldier or WandaVision or Captain Marvel, but I could rewatch this.
Yeah, I could rewatch this one. I'm excited to see all these characters again,
Yeah, I just like
and like how they.
what are we building up to now with these new characters?
Right. That's the part that I'm interested in. Is now we've kind of got rid of the first wave of Marvel, and now we're moving into another era of stuff.
Yeah, because we're gonna have like Anthony Mackie, Captain America, and we're gonna have Shang-Chi, and I guess I don't know. I haven't seen Eternals. I don't know if they're gonna play into it, but like, yeah, you got all these new characters. It's like how they're gonna interact. Or you got these older
Yeah.
characters that are now taking the mantle of like the spotlight. So
Yeah.
like Anthony Mackie, which we've talked about before. Which I am excited to see him as Captain America. I really like him. So
Definitely.
that should be fun. But yeah, no, Shang-Chi was entertaining. You know,
It was good. Yeah.
it's
Go watch it if you haven't.
it's a good Marvel movie. It's not bad. It's not amazing. It's good.
Yep. What's next on the agenda?
Fuck you.